This is the first version of the Arrow Around Cube. It's a Rubik's Cube sticker mod for a regular 3x3x3, and in this video, I'm going to scramble it and show you how it can be solved. If this is the first time you're seeing this cube, check out this video on the top right. So there are two versions of this puzzle, and I solved the second version first because that was easier and it kind of serves as an introduction before I solve this other one. But if you'd like to check out the solution for the second version, you can click the link on the top right. So I hope you enjoy this video, and let's get started. The key thing to remember about solving this cube is knowing that there are parts that you kind of have to memorize. It doesn't mean that you have to memorize like the full cube, but you have to know which edges and which corners kind of go together based on the colors. So I said in the previous video that you kind of have to know the pairs of colors that are available on the faces where there are complete centers. By complete, I mean this one, it's fully colored, compared to this kind of center that only has part of it colored. And in terms of pairs, we can see that blue is paired with red and green is paired with orange. Now I know the colors are kind of really similar, and yeah, it looks that way on the video. And I know that I have to actually change the palette of colors that I use here. Maybe make this a bit more green, make this a bit more blue. And even the orange and the red are kind of similar, so I have to like make it more orange and more red as well. Another thing that I want to note before I actually start solving is that I have some parts here that's a bit damaged, like this one. So the stickers have kind of peeled off and some parts have actually been scratched there. I think there's another one on the blue side as well. Yeah, there we go. It's been scratched and all that, and that happened as I was filming the original video for this, because there are times when you turn, the pieces kind of overlap, and maybe we'll see that in a bit once I actually start solving this. But yeah, it kind of ruins the sticker somehow, and that's because of the bad cube. I mean, if we had a better force cube, the stickers wouldn't be really that ruined because the plastic won't really touch the stickers there. So anyway, going back, we have to memorize the colors that go together, and the other key thing to actually know about these colors is that if you are looking at the face that has a full center, the color that's on it has a paired color, of course, and that color is going away from that face. So for example, we have green and orange here, and the orange arrow is actually going away from this face. It's the same thing here. So we have blue and red, and the red arrow is moving away from this face. And why is that important? Because of course, if you have red here, the arrow can't be going to this face, because it doesn't make sense to have an arrowhead that's kind of pointing upwards to this, because of course the rest of the red parts are here. And it's the same thing for this as well. You can't have orange here if the arrowhead is actually pointing towards this face, because of course if it's going that way, there shouldn't be any orange parts here. So that's a really long intro explaining what you have to remember when you're trying to solve this cube. So I'm going to start scrambling this one, and of course we're gonna solve it. Now let's try solving this cube. So as I remember, the key thing to actually keep in your head while you're solving this would be the pairs of colors that appear on the faces where there are centers that are fully colored, like this one or this one. So I'm gonna start with blue, and we know that blue goes with red, and that's important because we want to know how to actually orient these centers right here. Okay, so as I said earlier, if you have a color that goes with this face, that color should have an arrowhead that's moving away from that face. So we have red, and this actually is a set of centers that we locked out on because it's already facing downwards. So this is going to form an arrowhead that kind of goes down here away from the face. And we have orange. Orange should be going up to that face. So this one is already correct, but I'm gonna turn this center or this face so that the center also has that triangle forming an arrowhead that goes up to this face. Okay, so we have the centers already oriented there. Orange and red right there. And now I can kind of imagine that the orange and red lines go through this area right here, which means our blue arrow could be facing here or facing here. Now let's pretend that that arrow is actually facing this way. So it's gonna go like that. Our arrowhead is gonna be right here. Now if we imagine the arrowhead, that's how we're going to figure out what our cross looks like. So I know that this is my arrowhead here. These parts are going to be part of the blue arrow, and this triangle right here would also be blue as well because it's facing right here. But this one, this individual triangle here, should be red because my red arrow would be going through here. So it's blue, 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 and red. Now let's find a piece that looks like that. So we have this one. And it should go here, but that doesn't make sense because of course if it goes there it's gonna flip like that. But that means that this one fits here because we also have the same pattern here. We have blue here and blue here, but red on this part. So this goes here. And now here's the thing, for this center I know that this faces up like that, which means this area here should match up with this. So I'm just gonna turn that, and there you go. Part of our arrowhead is now formed. I hope you can kind of see the arrow there. Okay, so let's find the other piece for this one. I think you actually saw it earlier here. Okay, so let me just put that down. Okay, so oh, where is it? Oh, it's here. Yeah. Let me just move that a bit. Okay. So we have this piece right here, and we know that this part actually matches up with this part. So I have to turn that. And there you have it. We already have two of our crosses formed right there. And actually, we also have another edge here that just fell into place. So it continues the blue line there. There's a red section here because the red arrow goes here, and there's a gray one because this one is supposed to be empty. Okay, and then another blue edge for this part, so it's this one. Let me just move that so that I can orient the center, and there you go. So our first cross is already formed. Now we just have to work on the centers. So for this one, I know of course this is gonna be blue, but this is the end of the blue section. So as we know, the arrows actually kind of follow each other throughout the cube. So I know that this should be green. So we're looking for something with blue here and green on these sections. And we have that here. Oh no, not that one because that has green and two blues. This one. I'm not sure if you can really see that on the video, but this is blue and these are two greens. So let me just put that there. So it should be like that, blue and then two greens here. We kind of lucked out on this one because it already has all the reds there. This one should be all blue because I know this should be blue to form the arrow, and I know also that this arrow goes in here. So these should be all blue, and it's this piece. Let me just remove that and put it on the other side. Alright. And lastly, we have, oh yeah, this isn't really correct. I just realized that this should actually be red, but it should show part of the orange arrowhead here. So let me just remove that, because this red thing should actually be here. Yeah, because everything should be red here, because it's going into the red arrowhead. Okay. Now, let's go back to this one where we have a full red area here, and then an area here with some red and some orange because the arrowhead is gonna appear there. So it is this one. So there you go, red, and then we're forming the orange arrowhead right there. So we have our first layer done. We have our blue and our red section here fully formed. And now we will be working on the second layer. So this one is obvious. We just need 2 oranges here, but it's still here. So maybe we'll remove that later. This one is also obvious. We just have 2 reds. So I'm just going to put this part there. Right, so we have that now. And for this one, we have to have all green because this is what continues the green arrow. Well, it's here. So let's maybe work on the blue one first so that we can remove this, put it here, and remove this so that we can put it here. Okay, so blue, blue and blue, this one. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we have to Okay, lastly, we put the green one in. Right, and that's our 2 layers done. So if you want to check, all of the sections now make sense. Okay, so last part of course is our third layer, and the first step to doing that is forming the cross. So it's kind of the same process of figuring out what to put in there here, but it's kind of easier because you have less pieces to work with at this point. And in terms of figuring out which edges are actually facing the right way, we just have to see if there are green pieces showing up. So in this case, we already have these 2. So we know we just have to fill up the other sections. And we actually lucked out. The arrow is already formed. Now if I got some mixed up edges there, it's just a matter of exchanging the pieces with each other, but right now we already have it formed, so that's cool. And we can actually just check if they fit, and they actually do fit. This is very lucky. This is a very lucky scramble. So I already have this corner right here which fits into the whole arrow thing. This one already fits, and this one of course is going into the orange arrow, so that already fits. It's just a matter of twisting this one, because of course the green part has to be up top and the blue ones have to be here. Now here is an interesting situation right here. We usually don't have just one corner flipped. Usually you have 2 or 3 of the corners that you kind of have to twist, but in this case you only have 1. But that's fine, because we can use a move that's used for 2 flipped corners. And the reason for that is because we actually have 2 corners here that we can kind of twist without consequences. I mean, if you twist this one, it's still going to be all green. And we have to do that because there isn't a move that just twists one corner. So it kind of gives us a backup solution, sort of, to make sure that the move that we make here doesn't ruin the rest of the cube. So I'm going to work on that first. So we fixed that corner, but as you can see, the rest of the cube's kind of mixed up right now. And the way to undo that is to flip one of the other corners. So we're gonna flip this one because there's no consequence to really flipping that. So like we said, there is no consequence to flipping that because it's just the same color. But also, the rest of the cube is now fixed. And that's how you can solve the first version of the arrow around cube. If you'd like to create your own version of this puzzle, I share printable copies of my designs over on Discord, and you can find the link to that in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps this channel out. I also have another great puzzle for you on the left, and you can also click the playlist on the right to see more of my custom sticker mods. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.